like to welcome everyone this evening. Thank you everyone for coming. We're going to go ahead and start the meeting. We'll go ahead and take roll. Before we take roll, we have a couple of folks absent tonight. One of them, our friend Mr. Lopez, is running for office tonight, so we're wishing him good luck with whatever he's doing. And Mrs. Funderburg has just started a new job, and she's in training this evening, could not be here, so I want to make sure everybody knew who the two board members are. So at this time, we'll take roll.
Meeting.
Here.
Handley.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Moore. Here. Zimmers.
Here.
35 present.
President's comments. Before I give my comments, I wanted to make sure people knew public comments on published agenda items will occur during the public comments portion of the meeting. If you're interested in addressing the board, fill out the required public participation at board meetings form and submit it to Mrs. Hankins, who is at the table today. Started to say front row, you've moved on me. Okay, President's comments. What I'd like to talk about tonight is Andre Iguodala. He should be so proud of the job that he's done for himself. He is just a great citizen, a good person. This whole city of Springfield, the school district's proud of him because he's a product of Springfield Public Schools. But the entire city should be proud of Andre, for his accomplishments. He's always been a good student, a good athlete. He has great parents. Linda Shanklin, his mother, and Leonard Shanklin, his stepfather, have been very involved in this community, with Andre's foundation. They've done a lot for the youth of Springfield, and we should all be so proud of him. He is a great athlete, but number one, he is just a great person. We're so proud of Andre, so I just wanted to mention that tonight, that every citizen of Springfield should be proud of him, regardless of where he went to school. Okay, now, does anybody have board salutes this evening? Do you have any board salutes, Ms. Johnson?
Before we start, I think that it would be nice if we had a moment of silence for the victims of the shootings in Charleston, South Carolina. We had educators among that group, but there are people that, took from us, so I would suggest that we have a moment of silence.
That is a great suggestion, so let's take a moment. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson, for bringing that up.
Okay, but I'm gonna brag on myself. I received the Ruby Edwards Community Award from the Illinois Wisconsin State Association of Elks at a recent banquet when they had their state conference in Springfield. And from what they read to me about Ruby Edwards, we seem to be sort of like soulmates, very involved in the community, very interested in education and civil rights, and it was just a pleasure to receive that award, so thank you for that.
Congratulations. We're now going to be recognizing some students from our district. We're always proud of our students, the accomplishments that we see day in and out, whether it be the academics or the arts or athletics. The first person we're going to recognize is Lincoln Magnet student Zaire Harris. If Zaire is here, we'd like
to please bear with me.
Zaire is being recognized for being named an Illinois Elementary School Association Scholar Attitude Award recipient. Only 15 students are recognized across the state. The Attitude Award recognizes the academic success, activity participation, and community involvement of the students in our member schools. The students who are honored at the IESA Scholar Attitude Award winners are among the best and brightest in Illinois. They are young leaders in their school and community who dream to do great things as junior high school students and become the leaders in their high school years and beyond. and this was from the executive director, Steve Hensley. I happen to be at your awards night at Lincoln Magnet, and this young man, not only is athletic and got a great attitude, but he won about every award at Lincoln Magnet.
You better hold that up to
Yeah, I'll hold
the
it
camera.
up, hold it up, so the society can get your picture. As Zaire's parents are here, we'd like to recognize you also, and your family. Is there anything you'd like to say, Zaire?
Yes, I'd like to thank the board for having us, and I'd like to thank my community and Lincoln Magnet School for their support. I'd also like to thank our administrators, Mr. Hampsey. And it's a great honor. I thank God for all the blessings He bestowed upon me. So thank you very much. Ms. Hine, our principal, and everyone that supported me throughout my 3 years at Lincoln Magnet. Thank you very much. It's a really long walk.
Okay, now we're going to call up Mr. Cole Ryan, who is going to be recognizing Lincoln Magnet Schools participants in the National Beta Club Convention, which is a great honor. If you want to come on up, and I'm not even going to attempt to read all these names, that's the reason I'm going to explain what the process was. You want to go and stand there?
So the students that are here tonight, not only do they maintain great academic success in all of their classes, maintaining all A's and B's throughout the entire year, they also provide a minimum of 5 service hours every month, many up to 15 to 20 hours in our community. They also provide service locally as well as globally. So our students have done a great job of working really hard in the classroom and in our community, and so our community is very lucky to have them. The students that are before you today competed in February at the state convention in many categories, academic categories, arts and crafts, Songfest, Tower of Power, lots of different activities. And we placed in 15 different categories at the state level, which was the best we've ever had. So we did a great job. So those students worked really hard from February all the way through until we just got back just this last week from Nashville, Tennessee, where they competed at the national convention. I'm going to start out by reading their names as well as the categories that they competed in. Some competed in up to 5 categories at nationals. So congratulations to Urja Gajera. She was Tower of Power Songfest at the National Beta Club. She was 3rd place in Tower and 4th place in Songfest. Smith couldn't be here with us, but she did a great job. She competed in Tower of Power as well as Songfest. Zach Richmond, who is on a youth group trip this week, he's back in Nashville doing service. He was 3rd place for Tower of Power as well as Songfest. Judea is here with us, Hobson. She was Tower of Power, 3rd place, as well as Songfest, 4th place. Not able to be here with us. She is also part of our Tower of Power team as well as our Songfest team. And Tower of Power placed 1st at state, so they did a really great job. Annalise is not able to be here, but her mom is, if you want to see. She was not able to be here with us, but if you want to come accept her award, she participated in Songfest, Black and White Photography, Recreate, Recycle at the national level, as well as Spotlight Your Club, which was 2nd place in the nation. So congratulations to you. Proud of all of our categories, but Spotlight Your Club is a really neat opportunity. We do service all year long, and they have one opportunity to really showcase everything that our club has done. And so to be ranked 2nd in the nation for a club, that was a pretty big honor, so we were excited. Stephen was also a part of that. He's got our trophy. He was a part of Spotlight Your Club and Songfest. Congratulations. Haley was also a part of the Spotlight Club, 2nd place. 4th place for Songfest. She was also a part of Meeting of the Mind and Reimagine, Recreate, and Recycle. Congratulations. She was very busy on it. Zoe Nielsen is next. Zoe was a returner at nationals. She placed 4th for Songfest and was in the top 10 for her poster category. So congratulations. was not able to be here, Joy Scow. She was top 10 for poster. She was also part of our Living Literature competition and 4th place Songfest. She is at a music camp this week, though. Erin Shaw, Erin's with us. Erin was a part of Songfest, poster, which was top 10, as well as Living Literature. Morgan, is Morgan able to be here? I don't know Morgan. Morgan was a part of our Songfest poster and as well at the competition. Satay is here. Satay is our vice president. She was a part of our Songfest, which is 4th place. She also had a wreath on display, Meeting of the Minds sculpture at Nationals. She was very busy. Thank you to the family for traveling with all that fun stuff. Jolie is next. Jolie was a part of our Songfest, our wreath, and our Meeting of the Minds as well. This is our Turner, thank you. And our wreath got first in states. That was awesome. Congratulations to Elizabeth Barkley. Elizabeth was part of our Songfest. She also had watercolor that was submitted that she placed first at state and represented at national. She was also a part of the Reimagine, Recreate, and Recycle, and she was selected to model couture recycling design wear. And so she was on stage in front of 3,000 people with a dress. She's one of our student athletes, so we were excited to have that. This was new for her, so that was fun. Jack McLaughlin is not able to be here. He's in Seussical, but he did a great job in Songfest, as well as Alex Remolina, Songfest 4th place. Zaire, our president, congratulations to Zaire, who was 4th place for Songfest. He also represented us for the 2nd year in a row in speech and won 1st place at speech. Deshawn is here with us. Congratulations to Deshawn in your 4th place in Songfest. Congratulations to Brooke. She was 4th place for Songfest. Kelsey participated in Songfest as well as Living Literature. Brecken was with us this year. She was Songfest as well as Living Literature as well. Certainly not least, congratulations to Kaylee Wobig, who also participated in Songfest and Living Literature. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to all of the parents for traveling. We had 82 people total that traveled with us to Nashville, so it was a wonderful opportunity not only for our students but for all of our families just to celebrate kids all over the nation that are just interested in working hard and providing service to.
We're very proud of you guys at Lincoln Magnet. I do have a question though. I want to know what went on in Nashville that 2 of the 3 guys that you have up here are in Washington.
Most of it was before, but it was snooping around and then after. But basketball, was that football? Football.
Congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Picture, hold on. That's how I can get in with the picture.
Do you guys want to start to get together? You can kind of get in a Songfest.
Get your Songfest position.
Songfest. You can say something.
Well, I would just like to thank our sponsors, Miss Linda Shankton and Andre Vidala, monitoring the PS State, and also our Beta families who also funded as we went to national tennis.
Wait for the sponsor to get in. There she is. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
At this time, we would like to call up Coach Cotner and Coach Ward from Springfield High. They're going to honor the Springfield High track athletes.
Can't wait.
Sorry.
This will come what Spence did.
I got three of my young ladies that ran track. They were all placed sixth in the 4x1 3A state track meet. And three of them could be here tonight. The other young lady who had to work. They were all named on the all-state team. Ozzy Irwelly, who was also ninth. The dash, an all-stater. Michaela Patty. Shimmy Udaku had to work tonight, unfortunately couldn't be here, and Kira Webster.
All right, I had Heath Ward, who participated in the boys state track meet. He finished 8th place in the 800. Had the lead until about 120 to go, but he went for it and tried to take the victory and ended up finishing 8th. This season, Heath was the conference champ in the 800, the mile. Sectional champ in the 800, second in the mile, and ran top 10 time in the country for juniors for the 1600 in the mile this year. So, and he comes back next year. So that's Heath and his season.
Congratulations, Ollie. That's quite the accomplishment. I've known Heath since he's been a little guy. He used to work with his mom and dad, so I feel like I've helped raise him. Congratulations. Very proud of you. Thank you for coming. Okay, now on to discussion items. 4.1, old business. Do any board members have any old business they'd like to discuss or bring up? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to 4.2, new business. Do any board members have any new business they'd like to bring up?
Discuss what's going on with some of our building.
Sure, we can do that now if you
Want
want.
to do that right now?
Sure.
Great, overview.
Currently our big project is Lincoln Magnet. It's very much similar to the Isles project. Other than this year, it's a 2-year phase, and that was a 2-year project because of the environmental issues we found in the building. So those had to be abated, and that's done. And then I just saw in the paper the other day, they're working hard to get that first phase done. We're also doing a total roof replacement at Fairview Elementary. That's getting affected by our rain like everybody else, but that's still scheduled to be completed before school also. A couple of little projects, we're doing some HVAC work at Hazeldale and Laketown. Those are small projects for cooling the all-purpose rooms, which is their cafeteria and their gym and basically a big cooling space to go for the kids when the window units that they have can't keep up on those extremely hot days. We also have a very small piece at IRC, which is replacing a damaged chimney that was struck by lightning. And what you'll be seeing on board action items tonight is we're starting our camera project with the bids that are being reviewed tonight and the resolution for that. We have some home ec room remodeling at Lanphier. Those are the original metal cabinets that were put in there, and they were less than nice. So we we were able to replace that with health, life, safety items. They were all rusted and the tops were falling apart. So we're improving that. And plus there was some asbestos abatement done in the choir room and the art room, which is floor tile. So it's floor tile starting to pop up. So we addressed that, so we don't have any issues with that. I think I hit everything. I think that's our project list for this summer.
So how much is this IRC chimney replacement?
Total is $13,000. It's masonry was half of that, and the new chimney was the other half. What we did is we took down the masonry chimney to a level that was structurally sound, and then what we'll do is we'll put up a double wall metal chimney on top of that, a little more economical.
Just tell me again, Lincoln is 2 phases?
Correct.
Okay, so we're doing phase 1
Phase
this
one,
year?
yeah, phase 1 is this year. They'll get the new lighting, new ceilings, new fire alarm. More importantly, they'll have heating and cooling for the gym is replaced, and that will be active for this coming start of school. The cafeteria is getting the same thing, and the library, which was always a hot box in that building. Also in the '89 edition, that unit in there, that air handler in there is aged beyond its useful life, and so we're replacing that to improve its efficiency. And so the window units that are in the building now will be maintained. The rooftop units that we get for fresh air makeup, what we call fresh air makeup, which is required now by mechanical codes to exchange air in the building. Those will also provide dehumidification in the building, which is probably the key factor in cooling, is getting that hot, moist air out of there. We ran the rooftop units at Grant when that project was done. It actually seemed to cool the building before we got the chiller online. So, we're very excited about it. It'll be a good improvement for that building.
And all these improvements that we're doing are all health, life, safety?
That's correct, yes.
And I'd like to add that I was over at the tennis court at Southeast the other day, last Thursday, I think it was. And so, still getting a lot of compliments on
Good.
the research.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
I told them I would spread the word to you. So,
And they
I
put
had,
in great
job.
fences too, so.
yeah, it looks really nice over there. And
I
they're
had a parent
enjoying it.
from SHG inquire if they could use it. I didn't hear back yet. So that would have to deal with the schedule of Southeast, of course. And the summer program uses that. The summer club uses it. It worked out very nice.
Anything else? 4.3 student business. We're in between student board representatives right now. Our new representative will probably start in August before school starts, so we're in between right now. So we'll go on to presentations to the board. First, the business report, 6.1, financial report.
Mr. Prescott?
President Zimmer's, members of the board, attached is a summary of revenue and expenditures for the month of June 2015 for the education and the operations and maintenance fund. An accounts receivable outstanding report is also attached. As of the end of June, we had outstanding state payments of $2.6 million. The education fund revenues for June were $31.25 million with expenditures of $9.64 million. And our revenues exceeded expenditures by $21.6 million. And the operations and maintenance fund, we had revenues of $5.7 million and expenditures of $1.7 million, with revenues exceeding expenditures by $4 million.
Questions or comments? Mr. Besco?
So, yeah. So the net 21 million, 22 plus. That's to be, it says FY 15 2015. So are we going to expend those shortly?
A lot of that money, some of that money went back into paying, we did have a line of credit that we had to pay off, I guess, and then that money, it counts as FY15 money, but it will be carried over and used in FY16 as well.
Okay, so a question to the superintendent, I think, we were anticipating another $2 to $4 million in the new appropriation, is that right?
For the 92%, this was gonna be a part of my superintendent's report, but I can do it right now. The 92% proration, which is 3% better than what we anticipated at 89%, would equate to about 1.2 million in extra money for our district and general state aid. On top of that, we do know that based on a formula, the state is giving back money to districts that are in need. And we anticipate our portion of that to be about $7 per student, which would equal about $93,000 total in addition to that 1.2. And we're still waiting to hear about all of the general categorical funds that we get back. We feel that most of those will be held harmless from last year to next, such as the transportation budget. However, we will say that the transportation budget, if it's held stable, is only 71% of what we're told we're owed, so to speak, or what we were promised, I guess, in the legislation previously that was enacted. So it's 71% and it's 95% proration for special ed transportation reimbursement. We're still waiting to understand better the extra money that was given to special education and then also our early start funding. We're still kind of waiting to hear about where that will come back to us or how that will come back or what type of a formula that will be used, and I think we're just all kind of waiting because things are kind of in a holding pattern downtown as well.
We're definitely in a holding pattern.
We're definitely in a holding pattern, you would know more than I guess. So we are just kind of holding our breath and waiting to hear how that money will be provided back to us, and as you heard him say, we're still owed our fourth payment as well. We still have not gotten our fourth payment for the categories.
Okay, the next portion will be 7.1. We need to have a motion and a second to go into a public hearing to discuss the 2015-16 budget, so.
I move.
Okay, second. Okay, take roll.
Stanley,
Here.
Johnson,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Zimmer's,
Aye.
Lamini,
Aye.
that is by my votes.
Mr. Basco, is there some?
Yeah, just a couple comments. Tonight, we formally approved our FY16 budget. Since we laid it on file, we decided not to make any changes. We don't know exactly what the revenues are going to be, so we decided to wait until we know that before we move forward. So in the ed fund, we're approving a budget with a surplus of $934,000. And in the operations and maintenance fund, we're approving one of approximately $149,000.
And that was we set this budget at the 89% proration that we had been operating under the past.
Correct, we carry the categorical over as they have been from last year, so we'll have a better idea. It'll probably be in August before we know exactly what those numbers are going to be.
So at a later date, when we do know, we'll be able to amend.
We'll amend later in the year, yes.
Does anyone have any questions?
Can you just help me understand the transportation funds, you know, the deficit there, and how is that gonna be
Yep.
rectified?
The big thing about the transportation fund is we did, as the bid tonight shows, we'll have an 18.6% increase for next year, so that accounts for a lot of that deficit. The way the state funding reimbursement works, that 18.6%, we won't see a reimbursement on that increase until the following year, until FY17. So there's a lag time between when we spend it and when we receive it. So that's the biggest part of the deficit for this upcoming year. The second and third year of that bid is a 2.5% increase. So you can see the deficit should go down those last 2 years. We are carrying a sizable $2 to $3 million fund balance in that fund. but the transportation funding is probably something we're going to have to look at with that. With the 71% reimbursement, that's a lot of dollars that we're not getting. Somewhere along the line, we're going to have to make up in the next 2 to 3 years.
Any other questions? Concerns?
Okay, so we're depending on our surplus to help carry us through
To get
this.
us through the next couple of years, yes.
Has any discussion been initiated?
How would you go about it? I'd just like you to clarify how you would go about doing something, I mean, explain
Well,
that, doing
I mean,
something.
I think, unfortunately, there's a couple ways to do it. Either take revenues from the ed fund or the educational fund to help pay for transportation, or we would have to do develop a plan to reduce the expenditures, reduce the routes. Those are really our only two options.
So we have an understanding, the deficit is because the amount that the state has reimbursed us, is that why we're in such a deficit on transportation?
And increased costs.
Increased costs, yes, but the deficit is the largest part of that, because we certainly wouldn't have been running a deficit the last couple of years if we were being reimbursed even at 90%.
For this upcoming year, the cost has increased through the bidding process by how much?
It's about $1.6 million.
The bid is over and above what we've been paying is 1.6 million,
In addition.
Yes, in addition.
and that is justified by what?
They're the only ones bidding.
We only had one bidder.
And they submitted it to say that's what they needed for their costs.
So there was no possibility, as much as people in this district love to redo things, especially like when it comes to personnel and dang thing else. There was no possibility to put this out again for bids again.
Well, we would have had we would have just been going back to the same bidders again. We had 5 bidders show up at the pre-bid meeting and only one who submitted a bid.
And they're dealing with the same increase of, thinking about Affordable Care Act for their employees, thinking about some of the mandates that they have to run transportation. Those are all flow-through costs to them that come back to us and
So we really have, this is where we are.
We need to address this.
well, we agree. We agree.
It sounds like we've been kicking the can down the road, and now we have to really do something about it.
I think
Concern
this
this also includes transportation for athletic contests and
field trips,
Field trips.
any busing at all is included in this after-school activities, right?
this is a public hearing, so is there anyone in the public that would like to ask a question or have concerns before we move on from this subject? Hearing none, I now need a motion to go out of public hearing in a second. Motion, second. Roll.
Johnson,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Zimmers,
Aye.
Lamini,
Aye.
Hamlet,
Aye.
that is 5 votes.
Okay, superintendent's report, April.
Well, I kind of already talked a little bit about the education bill that was signed by the governor and what that will mean for us. In addition, many of you may have listened to WTAX or heard our new mayor, Langfelder, talking about an economic development commission that he's putting together. I wanted to explain the ins and outs of that and how it is going to affect the school district and get some input from you tonight if possible, and then bring something back to you to kind of pass as a kind of a resolution or support at the next board meeting. What he's wanting to do under the leadership of his new Economic Development Director, Karen Davis, is put together an Economic Development Commission. And it's my understanding that within the upcoming next city council meeting, they'll be presenting this, and then a meeting or two after that, finalizing membership on this commission. The way he described it to me, and he's promised to give me a little bit more of a better framework for what that position and the job duties will need to be, or what a person that would serve on this committee would actually do in short term here after he presents to the city council. But they would be looking at prioritizing projects in the city, considering TIF districts, getting our input on things of that nature, having a seat at the table, so to speak. The school district will be one of 7 representatives, and in addition to that, there's another 3 at-large positions that'll be on that committee at the city level. And then they would assist in making recommendations as he moves forward with economic development. That's the way it was explained. I believe that the focus of this is improving the inner core of our city, the urban core, and really having important, the main targeted sectors of our community, like the medical community, the educational community, being at the table to help with some of these prioritizations that he would like to make. In addition, he would like a voice at the table of people who are not only receiving qualified workforce, but also us that are producing that in our community, whether it be just our K-12 education, but also our post-secondary education in our community. Another thing that he's been speaking with me about is, adopting a school and really, our schools, and really working with our students to really see what opportunities there are in city government employment. Not only fire and police, and I know we've had Explorer programs, Mrs. Johnson's brought that up with me before, and we've got those active in our schools, but also going beyond that, but looking at what we need to do at our power plant, our public works, and some of the other positions that might be available. So those are some of the things that Mayor Langfelder has reached out to me and started having conversations, but most specifically, he would like me to name a person to serve on this Economic Development Commission from my staff. And so at the next board meeting, I'd like to bring a name forward, but I didn't know if anybody had any comments on this or any questions that you would like me to relay to the mayor at this time.
Somebody knows about the inner core of the city, somebody knows figures in terms of how it's going to affect the district.
The TIF and any of those things down the road, yes, I agree.
So, just move on, get in terms to.
All right, well, that's just about all I have at this point in time, because I'd already given my update on the funding. We were happy to hear about 92%. It was good news for us, but we haven't seen it yet. So we'll just holding tight. Thank you for all the work that you've done on the budget and helping me run all those models and numbers. Mr. Vesco, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now we'll move on to consent action items 9.1 through 9.9. And so we need a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of the consent action items? Questions?
Just one question, what is this American Fidelity? Somebody?
Yes, at the last board meeting, and also in a memo that I submitted to you, I kind of went over that. Mr. Vasco, do you want to explain a little bit?
Just tell me what it is, what
In general.
It's for software that, for reporting Affordable Care Act requirements.
Any other questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Mayne.
Aye.
Handley.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
That is 5 ayes.
Okay, on to roll call action items 10.1.
Mrs. Sherman?
President Zimmers and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Finley. Any discussion? Questions? none, we'll take a vote.
Zimmers?
Aye.
Munier?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Johnson?
I, except for letter, two, we recorded as no on that. And I want to say that I am voting no because I don't agree with some of the changes. I think that, we need to start providing opportunities for others in the district to be able to move up, to inspire them to even want to move up. And I think that people sometimes who cause problems in the district in this district are allowed to obtain other positions, and it seems like it's a reward instead of being disciplined for what they've done, or they get looked over. And I can't keep doing this. I don't have much time left on this board, but I'm gonna just agree to everything that goes on. And I'm not trying to cause harm, but I think that this issue, some of these issues that I have with what I heard in different discussions, I can't agree with, so I will be voting no. Yes.
E, C, and D.
Oh, no, but all of number two.
On the agenda, Ms. Johnson, please. And a yes on the remainder, is that correct?
Yes, it's a yes on the
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Moore?
Aye.
That is, 5 aye votes with noted no on addendum 2. As a B, C, and D.
10.2.
Before we move on, Mr. President, before we move on, under Dr. Milton, we had a request that addendums be posted at least by 2:30 on the day of the meeting, and that we don't receive them when we get to the table in exec session. So, I would request that of the new superintendent.
I found your request today, I did note that, and I have shared that with my contact.
2:30 of the day out.
For addendum, we really tried to
Yeah,
not do
I
addendum
mean,
items,
this
but
time of year, you're
yeah,
gonna
it's
have more,
crazy.
but yet and still, they know what's
I
going down
think
at
it's-
2:30.
I think it's complete, I think it should be before that, and we talked about that today, that our goal would be meeting before that, so no problem, thank you for that.
Okay.
We had a couple of people in the crowd who were just,
Oh, sure.
received positions.
Go ahead and introduce.
Alicia, if you'd like to stand up, she's our new principal at Southern View, and I know you have some friends here as well, so welcome. If you'd like to tell us what you've been up to the last couple of years.
I would. First, I would like to say thank you, Superintendent Gill and the board, the interview committee, Southern View staff, and just my friends and my family would be here, but they're finishing the packing and getting everything here. I loaded up my car. I'm here. I'm super excited. But for the past couple of years, I have been the principal in Carbondale Elementary School District 95. They had attendance center, so I had about 320-something second and third graders, 14 classrooms, and I was supposed to grow this coming school year to about 374 with the growth that took place there. It was an amazing experience. I'm so honored and blessed to have this opportunity. You just don't know how I've been doing backhand springs in my head, and I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to all the amazing things that will take place at Southern View with my staff, my families, and my students. And I welcome you to always come, open door. You're always welcome. We will be doing amazing things. But my experience here at Springfield District 186 is what prepared me for that position when my husband had to take a job there. He was supposed to retire in 6 years, which is why I left, because I love it here. But then when I got there, he retired in 6 months. So I was a little upset with him, but I still love him, and we're together. So I was elated. When the opportunity presented itself. Someone had my home. They took really good care of it. Made the decision that they weren't able to keep it. So it was just like a wonderful season, a wonderful opportunity because I'm back in my house. It was kept beautifully, and I'm back in my district. I'm back at home with family and friends, and I'm going to work very, very hard. You're going to be so proud of me. I'm going to be so proud of myself, and I can't wait to be with you all. Thank you so much.
We're so glad to have you back.
I am too. Thank you. And I'm
And also in the crowd today, we have our new district accountant, Nate Fretz, if you'd like to stand up and say a few things about your excitement about coming here.
Absolutely, I can't top that. So I'll do what I can energy-wise, but a big thank you to Superintendent Gill and to the board for this opportunity. I'm extremely excited to be here, to jump in on August 3rd and be a part of this fantastic admin team. I've been at both New Berlin schools and Chatham schools both for the last 4.5 to 5 years now. Business manager at New Berlin and chief school business official at Chatham. So looking forward to carrying that experience to this endeavor here. Very excited. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Are there new hires in the crowd today?
Alicia?
We have one new teacher here.
Good, good.
My district.
Yay!
Alicia.
Mrs. Brown, would you like to introduce your new?
She's good. She's a good girl now.
Hi everybody, my name is Christina Graves and I just graduated from EIU, so I'm a little nervous. This is new for me and I'm going to be a new teacher. I have a BA in English, I can teach 6th to 12th grade. I have a minor in creative writing and I'm going to be a teacher in Southeast.
Thank you for attending today. Sure.
There's a couple positions in here that should, allocations with, cross-categorical and elementary autism. And there was a restructuring of an allocation at Springfield High School. Can you tell me about those?
Sure, I think that'd be a combination of Mrs. Baker and Mrs. Jordan. So, do you want me to?
You want additional?
Yeah,
You want me to
yeah, go
explain
ahead.
the additional positions?
Sure.
Those are, we had the autism room. Those are based on the IEPs. So those are, basically we had an increase in student need in those areas. So we had to open classrooms to accommodate our students. And for those two. And then, Springfield High School,
Location to be determined, so.
they're, determining the space on which school they're gonna place that classroom, which elementary building. The special education department is working on that.
And the Springfield High position?
The Springfield High School position was basically taking an allocation and moving it into a different department where they have the need.
So it's not a new allocation?
It's not an
it's just
allocation, it's a restructure, correct. And they moved it into the family and consumer science department.
So in an elementary school, that means if I don't have enough 4th graders and I have a teacher, I can move it into 5th grade because all those kids move to 5th grade, but in high
Correct.
school, it's
But in high school, it's
the
by
same.
endorsement.
Yes, so, I'm curious. You told me that the number of IEPs has grown by a full class in this district.
Ms. Baker, do you wanna explain the class size on that?
So, based on the numbers, if we go over a certain number, for a self-contained classroom, we then have to add another class. So if our number is at 13, and that would designate that class being full. So regardless of if we have 1 over or 5 over, we have to add another class. Because their IEP designates that they would have.
And so then you divide those numbers up, right?
Right.
Right.
Split it so that
So at this point, you don't know how many, additional students you, well, you have to if you have IEPs for them.
I can't tell you off the top of my head what that number is, but it would be based on students that we currently have registered, whether they are students that came to us through early childhood classes, because sometimes that makes our numbers increase, or it could be students that through their IEPs that it was determined that they needed an instructional classroom, and maybe they've been resourced in the past. There could be a number of reasons.
Okay, so I would request the superintendent to provide us more, not talking names, but more specific information about why we are establishing another IEP class, about the makeup of the IEP class, minority, majority students. And it's always the push to try to get, I would think, children mainstream rather than to have.
Is this a primary program? Primary autism?
Honestly, I don't know right now. I'd have to go back and look at it, because
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand, either we have a lot of families moving in here because of our special education from other districts, so, you know, that can be another reason that you have increased numbers, because that's just a known fact. We have that every year, that families move in here because of the services we provide, so.
I can get that information for you though.
We need to know. And by, you know, whether they're autistic or something else, like have a designation, sure.
Mr. Bascom?
President Zimmers, members of the board, superintendent recommends approval of the following resolution. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Education of Springfield Public Schools as follows, that the fiscal year of this school district be, and the same hereby is fixed and declared to be, beginning July 1, 2015, and ending June 30, 2016, and that the following budget containing an estimate of amounts available in each fund separately and of expenditures from each be, and the same is hereby adopted as the budget of the school district for said fiscal year.
We have a motion. Mr. Flamini, second. Mr. Gannon. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Bascom? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Fluini?
Aye.
Hambley?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Zimmer's?
Aye.
That's my vote.
10.3.
Mr. Schaefer?
Thank you. President Zimmers, members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of Springfield School District 186 hereby accepts and approves the amended certified estimates from the architect for building improvements actually repairs that are necessary for at the school in the amounts listed on the attached document. And that's for the camera installation that we just passed bids on. So, and that list will have, that document has the breakdown of each building that we have.
Ms. Johnson, so moved. I have a second. Mr. Flamini? Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Fluini?
Aye.
Hambley?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Zimmer's?
Aye. Okay, 10.4.
Okay, this is for the approval of the revision to the board policy on harassment and bullying policy, which we've already had our readings of. Whereas the Board of Education of the Springfield District 186 maintains board policy manuals giving direction to the district, and whereas such policy and manuals reflect case law, legal rulings, legislation, and district practice, now therefore be resolved that the board approves the attached policies relating to harassment and bullying.
Motion.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Hambley?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Zimmer's?
Aye.
Fluini?
Aye.
That is 5 votes.
Before we leave,
Yeah, I had a shout out, I forgot one good shout out, and I know that we already gave a shout out for the support that Andre Guadala and Mrs. Linda Shanklin, his mother, gives, as well as their large family, to our district, they just completed their Iguodala basketball camp, and they held that at the downtown YMCA, but a majority of those students, of course, were District 186 students that were able to participate. It was their 9th year doing that, and we know that that really helps in the development of our athletic programs across the district. And importantly in that, we had our Lampier and our Southeast boys basketball players volunteering at that camp throughout the week, and they did a great job. And giving back to our community is a very important part, and to see our teams out in the summer months when they could be out doing other things is really a wonderful thing to see. I really appreciate that. In addition, Matheny Blithrow hosted a health and wellness day where over 200 families came and were involved in events and activities, and also received food to take home that day. This event was sponsored by the Mosaic Project and something also Prime for Life. But also thank you to the community partners that helped with that event, the Central Illinois Food Bank, Omega Psi-Phi Fraternity, Omega New Chapter, Shields, and Hy-Vee. And then again, our Lampier boys and our girls basketball team were at that event at Matheny, assisting and sponsoring the activities. So just a great shout out to the coaches of those teams and the players for being out and helping in our community. It's just great to see those things happening. So those were the 2 shout outs that I wanted to give that I didn't do during my superintendent's report.
And I forgot to mention something, and you all know I'm gonna mention every board meeting we have now. We have a month and a half before school starts. We need to get immunizations, physicals, make sure you get those before school starts, so we can have all our students in school the whole time we're supposed to have them there. And that's all I have. Thank you everyone for coming. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be Monday, July 20th. 5:30, 6 o'clock will be the regular board meeting in here. So everybody have a great rest of the week.